holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request, and He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God my Father and His Holy Son. His holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Well, thank you all so much for joining me out here on this rainy, cold, it's rain coming down, but it's freezing as it hits. But and the wind's blowing strong. I'm from the Ozarks. I'm Miracle Willie, but I'm up here on the Thumb Peninsula on Lake Huron by Stover, Michigan. And I found me a place out of the wind with these spruce trees. These are common spruces. The Pinea abies is the genus and species. If plant nets tell me correctly, but they make a nice windbreaks out here in this flat, nice farm country. But anyway, the little windbreak around a lot of the houses, and I came out behind the windbreak of these common spruce trees. It was a blue spruce yesterday. The common spruce has about the same qualities. If it's truly a common spruce, do your due diligence and do your study before you decide that it's medicine. But they had said that if it is a common spruce, I found that it been used for centuries for common colds and flu, for arthritis, same things for the blue spruce. High in antioxidants, high in vitamin C, A, and E. Now, if my hands will allow me, I thought I would go ahead and sing the final lessons today. If not, I'll stop when my hands are too cold to read anymore and put them back in my little hot rock, which I'm warming them up right now. We're ready for lesson 363. We're almost finished for the year, and really we are. And henceforth, he says we don't need to do anything. We just listen to the voice for God. If you want to go through it again with me, though, so that you can really get it down and so that you can be a good example and maybe do it better this year than you did last year, well then please be sure to join me. We'll start again at January 1st. I think we're going to read the preface today, though. We didn't read it at the beginning of the year, and it's really something that Helen wrote. The first two portions. The third portion came from the Intriduction. We won't get it read today, but we will read the preface for the Foundation for Inner Peace version. I'd like to be able to do the original edition and the Foundation for Inner Peace version through this year, and we're going to do a little bit, but boy, even on the first lesson, it makes so many changes that you've got to pick one of the book or the other if you're going to follow along. So I'll alert you to what it's like. Okay, let's see if I can get this song, and if not, like I said, we'll put it down and we'll read the rest of it. It's the same tune as lesson 361, which is the same as 365. Our final lessons will be left as free of words as possible. We use them but at the beginning of our practicing, and only to remind us that we seek to go beyond them. Let us turn to Him who leads the way and makes our footsteps sure. To Him we leave these lessons, as to Him we give our lives henceforth. For we would not return again to the belief in sin that made the world seem ugly and unsafe, attacking and destroying, dangerous in all its ways and treacherous beyond the hope of trust and the escape from pain. His is the only way to find the peace that God has given us. It is His way that everyone must travel in the end, because it is this ending God has appointed. In the dream of time it seems to be far off, yet in truth it is already here, already serving us as gracious guidance in the way to go. Let us together follow in the way that truth points out to us, and let us be the leaders of our many brothers who are seeking for the way, but find it not. And to this purpose let us dedicate our minds, directing all our thoughts to serve the function of salvation. Unto us the aim is given to forgive the world. It is the goal that God has given us. It is His ending to the dream we seek and not our own. For all that we forgive will not fail to recognize as part of God. For all that we forgive we will not recognize as part of God. For all that we forgive we will not fail to recognize as part of God Himself. And thus His memory is given back completely and complete. It is our function to remember Him on earth, as it is given us to be His own completion in reality. So let us not forget our goal is shared, for it is that remembrance which contains the memory of God and points the way to Him and to the heaven of His peace. And shall we not forgive our brothers who can offer this to us? And shall we not forgive our brothers who can offer this to us? He is the way, the truth, the life that shows us the way to. He is the way, the truth, and life that shows us the way to us. Our brothers, He is the way, the truth, and life that shows the way to us. In Him resides salvation offered us through our forgiveness given unto Him. We will not end this year without the gift our Father promised to His Holy Son. We will not end this year without the gift our Father promised to His Holy Son. We are forgiven now and we are saved from all the wrath we thought belonged to God. All the wrath we thought belonged to God and found it was a dream. We are restored to sanity in which we understand. We understand that anger is insane. Attack is mad and vengeance merely foolish fantasy. We have been saved from wrath because we learned we were mistaken. Let's pause there a minute while I turn the page and warm up my hands for a minute. Isn't that beautiful, though, to think about that we've woke up from the dream by this year of practicing? At least that was the goal. If you've been doing your lessons every day, you're starting to realize that, wow, we can wake up from this dream of anger and fear and attack, and that we were just mistaken to think that God would ever judge his son. He goes on, he says, nothing more than that. So let's read it again. He says, we have been saved from wrath because we learned we were mistaken. Nothing more than that. And is a father angry at his son because he failed to understand the truth? Wow, what a beautiful idea. You know, think of God as a loving father that truly loves his son. I mean, this is the way that we want to think of God. As a father, remember the prodigal son story? I mentioned it yesterday or the day before, but just whenever it was, that you know, he sees the son coming from far off, and it says he rises up. I can picture him sitting on the front porch, and his son's been traveling all day, probably trying to get home before dark. And the father sees him coming. He says, is that my son? That's got his walk. That's got to be him. Boy, I'm happy. I'm jumping up and running to get him. Oh, I know he squandered half the wealth I was going to give him. But it's my son. Everything I have is his. So that's a beautiful, beautiful story. And that's how God thinks of us. No matter what we've done. I mean, it doesn't matter what you've done. God knows that your reality is one with him and that all he has is yours. That's your reality. Okay, let's see if we could finish this song. My hands are a little bit warmer now. Talking a little bit about the prodigal son. Nothing more than that so nothing more than that we were just mistaken. And is a father angry at his son because he failed to understand? Because he failed to understand the truth. We come in honesty to God and say we did not understand, and ask him to help us to learn his lessons through the voice of his own teacher. Through the voice of his own teacher. Would he hurt his son, or would he rush? Would he rush to answer him and say, this is my son and all I have is his. This is my son and all I have is his. Be certain he will answer thus, for these are his own words to you, his own words to you. And more than that can no one ever have, for in these words is all there is and all that there will be. All that there will be throughout all time and in eternity. Throughout all time and in eternity. God will say, this is my son, and all I have is his. This is my son, and all I have is his. And our lesson again, this holy instant would I you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace, certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request, and He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God my Father and His Holy Son. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace, certain that your direction gives me peace. Okay. Now, I said we were going to take a look at the preface now, because we didn't read that at the beginning of the year. So I thought that at the beginning I would have liked to have read it, but I wanted to get right into the words of Jesus, not the words of Helen. And so I thought, well, at the end of the year, we'll take the time to read it. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go back, we're going to read it now. The preface, all the way back to the beginning of our book, and thank you for joining me this whole year. Preface. This preface was written in 1977 in response to many requests for a brief introduction to A Course in Miracles. The first two parts, how it came and what it is, Helen Schuckman wrote herself. The final part, what it says, was written by the process of dictation described in the preface. And we did read that at the beginning. How it came. A Course in Miracles began with the sudden decision of two people to join in a common goal. Their names were Helen Schuckman and William Thedford, professors of medical psychology at Columbia University's College of Physicians and Surgeons in New York City. It does not matter who they were, except that the story shows that with God all things are possible. They were anything but spiritual. Their relationship with each other was difficult and often strained, and they were concerned with personal and professional acceptance and status. In general, they had considerable investment in the values of the world. Their lives were hardly in accord with anything that the Course advocates. Helen, the one who received the material, describes herself psychologist, educator, conservative in theory, and atheistic in belief. I was working in a prestigious and highly academic setting, and then something happened that triggered a chain of events I could never have predicted. The head of my department unexpectedly announced that he was tired of the angry and aggressive feelings our attitudes reflected, and concluded there must be another way. As if on cue, I agreed to help him find it. Apparently, this course is the other way. Although their interaction was serious, they had great difficulty in starting out on their joint venture. But they had given the Holy Spirit the little willingness, that's in quotes because he talks a lot about that through the Course, the little willingness that, as the Course itself was to emphasize again and again, is sufficient to enable him to use any situation for his purposes and provide it with his power. To continue Helen's first-person account, 3 startling months preceded the actual writing, during which time Bill suggested that I write down the highly symbolic dreams Okay, let's see. I've got my gloves on, so it's a little hard for me to turn the page. He says that he suggested that I write down the highly symbolic dreams and descriptions of the strange images that were coming to me. Although I had grown more accustomed to the unexpected by that time, I was still very surprised when I wrote, "This is a course in miracles." That was my introduction to the voice. It made no sound. She had the word voice capitalized. It wasn't her, it was from Jesus. It made no sound, but seemed to be giving me a kind of rapid inner dictation, which I took down in a shorthand notebook. The writing was never automatic. It could be interrupted at any time and later picked up again. It made me very uncomfortable, but it never seriously occurred to me to stop. It seemed to be a special assignment I had somewhere agreed to complete. It represented a truly collaborative venture between Bill and myself, and much of its significance, I am sure, lies in that. I would take down what the voice said and read it to him the next day, and he typed it from my dictation. I expect he had his special assignment too. Without his encouragement and support, I would never have been able to fulfill my own. The whole process took about 7 years. The text came first, then the workbook for students, and finally the manual for teachers. Only a few minor changes have been made. Chapter titles and subheadings have been inserted in the text, and some of the more personal references that occurred at the beginning have been omitted. Otherwise, the material is substantially unchanged. The names of the collaborators in the recording of the course do not appear in the cover because the course can and should stand on its own. It is not intended to become the basis for another cult. Its only purpose is to provide a way in which some people will be able to find their own internal teachers. Of course, I might say that if a group of us all got together and tried to learn this, to me that'd be we'd probably be called a cult. But the beautiful thing about it is we'd have that encouragement with each other. And I see a world where it might be a few centuries, but the Christian world, I think, hopefully be just a few decades, that the whole Christian world will say, wow, we can study this like we studied the Bible, and we'll get so much out of it about our own self-realization, our own oneness with each other and God, and our own peace of mind, and our escape from anger, attack, and insanity, the belief in sin. Okay, and so let's go on. Today's the 4th day of Kwanzaa, which is Ujamaa, if I'm pronouncing it right, which is cooperative economics. I think Ujamaa is the Swahili word. Chocolate Day, the Theobroma cacao, and I did notice that Theobroma cacao it can be used for improving heart health. I found that it can lower blood pressure. Now remember, it's got a lot of sugar and fats in it the way they make it, so you got to be careful because that could actually be adverse to your heart health. So do your due diligence, make your own study. Check with I think they say check with health professionals. I would encourage that. Boost brain function. These are things that I found that chocolate was good for. Get you all fired up, doesn't it? Like coffee, that caffeine. High in antioxidants for cell repair. And then I found that out of holidays and observances, I found also that it's Pepper Pot Day, which is basically spicy soup day. I didn't make mine spicy, but I'd add all kinds of stuff raising my kids. Make stew. I called it Osage stew. But spicy pot soup been around since at least the Revolutionary War days. Still need to do day and TikTok day. Time's clicking by, huh? And then out of Seed Savers Exchange, we've got another loose leaf lettuce. And this is called the Lolla Rossa loose leaf lettuce. And it says of the Lolla Rossa, also called Lolla Rossa, also called Lolo Rosso. Okay, instead of Rossa, Lolla Rossa. Also called Lolo Rosso. Beautiful magenta leaves with tiny frills and light green base. Mild flavor, small 5 to 8 inch leaves. Excellent for cut and come again lettuce when thickly sown. The leaves make a wonderful garnish. Loose leaf, 55 days. 37,000 seeds to the ounce, and it's right above my hand here if you want to see a picture of it. Okay, that's your Lolo Loso, or Lolo Rosso, or Lolla Rossa. Okay, well, our word for peace, we're going to take it from the Telugu people of southeast India, and they're on the Godavari and the Krishna rivers and their tributaries, and that whole area is known as the rice granary of India. And the word is Santi. Santi be with you. Let me put my gloves back here, warm up my hands one last time, and I'll see if we can close with our song. Thank you all so much for joining. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request. He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God my Father and His Holy Son. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Certain that your direction gives me peace. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. Cold enough today and the wind's blowing strong enough that I decided it's really kind of nice on this side of the spruce trees. Boy, do they ever work nice as windbreak, these spruce trees. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you. Certain that your direction gives me peace. And if I need a word to help me, He will give it to me. If I need a thought, that will He also give. And if I need but stillness and a tranquil open mind, these are the gifts I will receive of Him. He is in charge by my request, and He will hear and answer me, because He speaks for God my Father and His Holy Son. And as they say in the Telugu people of India, Santi. Santi be with you, peace be with you. This holy instant would I give to you. Be you in charge, for I would follow you, certain that your direction gives me peace. And if you wanted a lesson to memorize, it's one of your shortest ones, and it'd be a good one to memorize the whole thing and use it a lot. Santi.